The Celtics Talk podcast is presented by 24autogroup.com. 11 locations across New England.
What's up, everybody? Celtics win. Post-game pod coming at you after the Celtics sneak by the New Orleans Pelicans. 118-116 down in the Big Easy. And it's, Jason Tatum and a little bit of Jaylen Brown at the finish line as well, helping the Celtics find a way to escape a 2-game win streak, which, baby steps here. But the story of this game reverts back to Jason Tatum coming through in the clutch. And I'm not even going to mess around. I want to go right to the stats. So our stats guy, Dick Lipe, Celtics history, the most field goals for the lead or the win in the final 5 seconds since the 1996-97 season. Jason Tatum is now tied with Paul Pierce with 13 of them. Antoine Walker, 6. Ray Allen, 4. And then a whole bunch of guys at 3. Avery Bradley, Jaylen Brown, Ricky Davis, Rick Fox, Jay Green. I'm not sure which Jeff Green. That's probably Jeff Green. Al Horford, and Evan Turner. There's this notion, because the Celtics have sometimes, especially in this little stretch of December and January, not been good in clutch moments, that Jason Tatum in particular has not always come through in those situations. But 3 times this year, at least. So against Toronto, where he hit the sort of a broken down play, he hits the game winner against Toronto. Had the one against Houston, and now this one, to win it in New Orleans. And again, this wasn't picture perfect execution from the Celtics at the finish line, but after C.J. McCollum hits to tie the game at 116 with 24 seconds exactly on the clock, Tatum wisely takes the clock all the way down. Joe Mazzulla doesn't call a timeout. They like the forcing New Orleans to play with the defenders on the court. Court's pretty well spaced. Tatum gets the switch on McCollum, so he's got a height advantage. His initial attempt to drive, kind of starts to try, I think, because I always remember Paul Pierce wanted to get to that right side. You want to get to the right elbow and then hit the fadeaway. But Javonte Green shuffled over, so Tatum kind of goes the opposite way. Trey Murphy doesn't come with enough help, leaves McCollum in a little bit of a tough matchup, at least based on the size. And Tatum hits the fadeaway to give the Celtics the victory. 0.2 left on the clock as it rips through the twine, and at that point, New Orleans can't get anything off at the final shot, at least without running just a tip play. Tatum's been really good. I joked on our postgame show that so coming into the season, the NBA does one of the, and it's been a few years now, but they do the Clutch Player Award, where player who thrives in a situation, especially throughout the end of games scenarios. And Tatum wasn't even listed on the odds to open the season. Okay. Again, Celtics hadn't been great in those situations. Even last year during their championship season, they were not always crisp in clutch moments. But Tatum has rocketed up the board. I think he's at 3rd on most sites now, tucked behind only Nikola Jokic, who we know is so good in those moments and always makes big plays in those situations. And I believe SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, is the only other player ahead of him right now. That Tatum has muscled his way into that conversation speaks volumes about his progress. I think back a couple seasons ago, ironically, against Denver, where, they tried to get him on the baseline. He rushed a little bit, didn't get a good shot off. He's just so much more composed. Even tonight, where it's not the ideal flow, at least he's getting to a spot, getting a matchup, and getting a shot off. That's half the battle, too. There's been instances where the Celtics would be tripping all over themselves and wouldn't even get a shot off before the buzzer. And so, look, it's still a little bit maddening when you consider the absences on the New Orleans side tonight, that DeJounte Murray, unfortunately, tears an Achilles and has to leave this game in the first half, that the Celtics, let that team linger, and that's been something that's happening every night this season, where another player on the other side, Trey Murphy tonight, is flirting with career highs and making tough shots. I mean, Murphy threw in this ridiculous bank 3 in the final moments, and you're like, you know what? Maybe it's just not the Celtics' night. But it's Tatum and a little help from Jaylen Brown at the finish line. The play before before McCollum's was essentially Jaylen Brown hitting a pull-up to give the Celtics the lead in the final minute. So sometimes, especially when you're going through it, you just need your superstars to get you to the finish line. I thought Tatum and Brown were fantastic in this game. Tatum finishes not only with 27 points, but 10 assists, creates 25 points off of that. It was him getting Luke Cornett going early in the fourth quarter when the Celtics needed a little boost. It was Tatum in the second quarter, so he plays the whole first quarter. Celtics are a little up and down. He comes back midway through the second quarter, hits a couple of threes. It kind of gave him a jolt, pushed the Celtics out front after being a little bit behind. I don't think either team led by double digits in this game, and it was just sort of back and forth, and the Celtics couldn't quite put them away. And give credit to New Orleans for hanging in there, hitting some tough shots, for being feisty. The refs miss a goaltend call on a KP foul when he gets fouled going up with it. And so then he misses 2 free throws. Just like a lot of weird stuff going on in this game that could have made it a lot easier. But ultimately it boils down to Jason Tatum needs to make a shot, and he does. And, all I was thinking in my mind was Joe Mazzulla had talked about it earlier this week about, part of the reason the Celtics are in a little bit of a rut boils down to they have not been great in clutch situations, that they fumbled away the loss to teams like Houston and the Clippers going to overtime. Like they haven't been able to get out of their own way at various times throughout this little roller coaster stretch. And now here they are making the big shot. And so Jaylen Brown, today was the anniversary of the energy is about to shift. It's clearly already shifted for Tatum in terms of clutch play. But maybe, just maybe, it's shifting a little bit for the Celtics, and maybe they can start to have a better run in these close games. Will go a long way towards curing a lot of what ails them. All of a sudden, the little bumps in the road, you manage to sneak out with a win, you prolong a win streak. Maybe we're not nitpicking quite as much. We do deserve to say, contributions up and down the roster in this one. Kristaps Porzingis was flirting with a 5x5 game for much of this night. He actually had a block taken away at one point where I thought he had. So at one point he had 5 blocks, 5 rebounds, 5 points, 3 steals, and I'm thinking, man, there's only been 10 5x5 games in the NBA in the 2000s, including one by Wemby recently. And I'm thinking maybe he's got a chance to get one here. And so loses a block, doesn't get any more steals, so falls a little bit short. But still, I believe that the stat was first player to have the essentially 5x3 plus a 4 and a 3. Whatever. That sounds weird. But it's not gonna be not as sexy as a 5x5 game. But the first player to do it since Delonte West way back in the day. So shout out Delonte. I'm gonna have to go back and find that game on tape. I was stunned that Robert Williams had not had a 5x4, but he was close. He had checked a lot of the boxes, just never got close enough. So Celtics, as they embark on this little 3-game road trip, now 2 games in a row. There's been encouraging strides from the totality. This was one of the first games where they had everybody healthy that it's looked good for stretches. Still a little bit to clean up. Still got to tighten up that defense, especially when we start looking ahead. Tyrese Maxey and the Sixers on Sunday. But before we get to that, here's more from our postgame show.
The award-winning 24 Auto Group is the easy choice for your next car, truck, or SUV. 11 locations and over 2,000 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock.
Shop the brands you know and love, backed by savings and service you can count on. Plus, buy 3 and get 1 free for all tire purchases, with 11 convenient locations across the South Shore of Massachusetts.
24 has the knack to save you more. Visit us in store or online at 24autogroup.com.
This is a team, the Pelicans, that just would not go away.
Yeah.
We kept thinking, okay, the Celtics, here they are. Jaylen Brown gets going, and then the 2 Jays really started this thing off, I would say. And then even in the third quarter of Brown's 28 points, he had 13. And then Pelicans, just like the last time the Celtics played him, would not leave until the final shot. And let me tell you, my heart was pumping because I was screaming at the TV at Jason Tatum, like 6, 5, 4, because, he's so calm, cool, and collective behind the three. And I'm thinking, is this guy going for a three? And you don't know with Jason Tatum what he's going to do. Sure enough, poised, hits a fadeaway over CJ, who just hit the shot right before to make this thing exciting. So it just goes to show to that stat, Chris, what Jason Tatum is all about. Continues to be one of the top players in the NBA.
Going through that last play, again, as you brought up, CJ McCollum's able to tie it up right at 24 seconds, which meant that the Celtics got to grind this thing down. No timeout from Joe Mazzulla. And Tatum kind of spun his way away from the original double team, Chris.
Yeah, I think normally, maybe I'm just so conditioned from years of watching Paul Pierce and even Tatum now, they want to get to that right elbow, but Javonte Green came over with help, forced him to the left side, which is, again, where you probably want to put him. But he's able, with the size advantage on McCollum, and able to get the separation necessary to get this shot off. And, Trey Murphy's got to probably be in there and trying to help on Tatum. But bottom line, went in. And I love the symmetry, too, of not only Tatum making it, but JB making the shot before the trip down. Your two superstars, we keep talking about it. Sometimes when you're in a funk, you just need your superstars to sort of wrestle you out of it. And it sure felt like in the biggest moments of this game, JB and JT were fantastic.
And what great composure from, the Celtics, for them to have that goaltending non-call issue, and then Kristaps Porzingis missing both free throws at the end of the game.
They missed a lot of free throws in that fourth quarter.
They did. I mean, they were only,
both sides.
69% from the line here tonight. And then Derek White, he got a great steal where they could have capitalized off of that. They don't, and then Derek White gets scored on, so you would think, oh boy, here comes the collapse. But great poise, great focus, and like you said, Joe Mazzulla didn't call that timeout at the end because why? He trusts. I mean, sometimes it's late to call a timeout when there's 6 seconds left. There's that.
I wonder how close he was. We need the alternate camera angle, because I'm sure when that thing wasn't moving at first, he's like, But again, this is why he has routinely not called timeouts. He wants to put his team in environments where, hey, you have to execute. Don't allow the defense to make substitutions. Get a taller defender out there if they take McCollum off the court. You want to just go in that situation and try to take advantage of it. And the Celtics, again, to their credit, have not always been the best in clutch situations. But this is the margin. This is the difference between a roller coaster December and, at least for now, a small winning streak where you feel good about it is executing in the final moments. So, again, normally I might be here and be like, I want to nitpick this loss tonight. Nope, beggars can't be choosers. You find a way to get wins. That's all that matters.
A little bit of a roller coaster of a game. And as you mentioned, Jaylen Brown with the 28 points, a team high for the Celtics in this one. Standing by with Abby back at the Smoothie King Center.
Jaylen, what a game. The Pelicans would not go away. Take me through the game winner. What'd you see from Jason Tatum?
Tough shot. That's what we need. It's about time. We got to come out, be aggressive, and big-time players make big-time plays. So that was big time by JT.
How did you guys get this one done?
We just fought, and give credit to New Orleans. They played extremely well. They shot the ball crazy. Trey Murphy had a hell of a game. We just stayed with it all the way to the end.
Joe Mazzulla tells us all the time he loves these type of situations. Do you enjoy late game in the clutch?
I think it's good. You can always learn from experiences, especially when you win. So I think that was a little bit better that we won and we learned too. So I'm happy we came out with a W.
Congratulations are in order. Named an All-Star for the 4th straight year. Does that ever get old?
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. But I'm, playing in Boston, you more focused on winning championships and playing deep into the playoffs. So I'm looking forward to a long, deep playoff run, and I'm getting my body ready for that.
Finally, it is the 3-year anniversary of your tweet. The energy about to shift. How would you describe the energy with this team right now?
Yep, happy energy is about to shift day. School canceled. I know it's Saturday, but school is
Friday.
Today's Friday?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
I have no idea what day it is, but let's keep it going.
Special day either way.
Yeah, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the good energy rolling. Let's start a good win tonight, and let's look forward to the next one.
Jaylen, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Look at all those Celtic fans.
There's a ton, by the way, of Celtics fans packing the house there in New Orleans. But Jaylen Brown, as mentioned, he may not know what day it is, but his stats still speak for itself. He had 3 straight games of 28 points, but even more so, he has now surpassed 11,000 career points, and he joins these guys, all Hall of Famers you see there, except for Antoine Walker. You see the other 2 that are still currently playing. But Jaylen Brown, the energy shifter, happy energy shifting day. What are we saying? Happy energy shift day?
School's canceled.
School's canceled.
Yeah, right. So again, we talking about our pregame show about just how much that tweet, ever since then, they've been super successful. You know, last season they didn't really need an energy shift at any point. They were fantastic for pretty much the duration. This year they might need a little bit of an energy shift, an energy boost, an energy jolt, whatever it takes. You know, maybe this is just a little something, a little extra, a little motivation, a little reminder that even though you go through these up and down periods, that you can find it. I thought JB was great in this game. 3 straight games now with 28 points. And he's been super efficient. He's taking care of I almost said take care of the basketball. He almost turned it over right there. But in general, he has been very good. And I just love the energy that he's brought. The last few games have hammered home why he's an all-star with the way he's played. And I love that he was the appetizer for Tatum's main course late in that game.
And he was efficient. You look at the numbers, 3 of 6 from 3, because we brought up the three-point shooting, in pregame when we were talking about Jalen and his numbers and him being an all-star once again. Made a couple big threes, I think it was in the second quarter there to kind of get them going. But all in all, a pretty efficient night, and only the 1 turnover. And
it's great to see how Jays, like when we talk about the 2 Jays starting it off early, they're kind of the predictable guys, and usually it's been, as of late, maybe the past 5-7 games, we see Kristaps Porzingis getting into his rhythm, hitting early shots. But then you see the Jays start to do it, and then Kristaps starts to add to it. Peyton Pritchard can come off the bench, English. And then on top of that, Sam Hauser, getting to trickle in a little bit there as well. But for me, it was just the poise and how they were able to close this one out. Because here, at the end of the day, when it comes to stats, they should totally blow out the Pelicans, especially when Zion's not even in the mix. And then you have Murray, who left the game with an injury. But it's professionals. These guys know how to play. And for the Celtics to remain calm and do what they did at the end, sealed the deal for me.
And with that, we head back down to New Orleans where we find Drew Carter, Eddie House on the call this one. Eddie gets a nice buzzer beater on the call tonight. So energy shifting. I think we got to keep that thing going, Drew.
Yeah, Giles, we stole Eddie for this one. We wanted to have Eddie see this one up close and personal here in New Orleans because, man, that's a heck of a game. And, we can talk about what happened for the full 48, but I know what you love is the last minute, Eddie, with the 2 biggest shots of the game, one from Jaylen Brown and one from Jason
Yeah,
Tatum.
it was huge. Our 2 superstars stepped up in the biggest moments. Jaylen with the shot on the baseline side, and then JT, we all seen that. But, again, 30-plus assists, we're 14-0, so it's a recipe there that we have. But it all starts with defense. I thought KP was phenomenal tonight, setting the tone for us defensively. And I think Derek White was phenomenal as well. He had a few deflections, a couple steals that led to some baskets. So, again, I've always been saying it. The guys back in the studio know. I say our defense, when our defense is on point, it seems like our offense is humming and then the ball buzzes around and guys are sharing the basketball.
Yeah, 18 forced turnovers is one of the Celtics' best marks of the season. It's something Joe Mazzulla's been talking about really for a couple of months now. They want to force more turnovers because it's what Eddie's talking about. Get out in transition, get yourself some easy shots. And the ball on offense, even in the half court, I feel like, was really zipping around. I mean, this is some of the best ball movement we've seen all year.
It was. I think the ball movement kind of got stagnant in the fourth quarter because we were just running that elbow action to get Jason Tatum the ball. And then off of that, we did get one where the ball did move, where they passed it to KP. He had an opportunity to take that shot, but he passed up a good shot to get a great shot and hit D. White in the corner for that corner 3. So it's just when the ball is moving like that is really tough to beat the Celtics.
Goaltending, what was your kind of deal about?
I didn't know what happened, honestly. I just saw the whole bench react and showing this, and I understood, okay, it probably was going in, and they were like, I don't know. I still haven't seen the play, but probably the refs missed something there, by the reaction. And then, of course, I smoked both free throws, Unbelievable.
What was going through your mind at the line?
No, nothing. I was just shooting my free throws, and honestly, today's shot was a little bit off. But I was like, and then missed the first one again. I'm like, come on, third one already. I missed the second one. I don't know when it was, but yeah, it happens. And the most importantly, JT hit the game winner. He was due for one, and beautiful ending.
I thought you guys ran the same play a bunch of times there early in the fourth quarter.
Ran what?
The same play a bunch of times there early in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
What caused you guys to go to that, and what was working with that?
That one from where I'm coming out the corner? Yeah. It was Joe's call, and I think it's hard to stop because we also given space to either JT or JB to attack from the elbow. and then I'm coming out the corner, and then they have to make a decision. If they switch, then I have the guard on me. I can just, keep curling, and we have options from there. And we had a great kick out to DY to the 3, so we're getting good stuff out of it, getting fouled and stuff. So that's a really good play, and good calls by Joe.
What's the rhythm like for you when you're going offense, defense down the stretch, kind of come in and out?
For me, nothing changed. We trust Al, and he comes in for defense, and then when my name gets called, I'm always ready, and nothing changed for me.
What did you like about the execution down the stretch? That's been an issue at times this season for you guys, kind of figuring it out.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought our defense was good too. They hit like this bank 3. They hit a couple more like tough floater, left-hand floater, CJ McCollum, and then we were like missing 6 free throws or 8 free throws in the fourth. So that game should have not been that close, but it was, and that's a little bit been our luck this season, regular season. But I believe it will turn, and we just have to stay with it and keep playing hard.
Joe tells us all the time how much he likes those moments of adversity. Do you enjoy those late game clutch situations?
Of course, there's something to, especially if you win, right? It's always fun. Those games are fun towards the end because that's like the stage for big moments, no? Somebody can hit a game winner, something crazy can happen, but I also enjoy just cruising and winning by 20, 30, so let's try to do more of that.
I seen when they scored their last shot, it's 24 seconds on left in the game, no shot clock. So all about just getting the last shot. Knew the matchup we wanted to get, got our spacing right, and it was all about just making sure that we took the last shot.
What are you kind of looking for, as that's transpiring in terms of the spacing, the timing? What kind of things are you monitoring that's going on?
I was looking at their coach. I was looking at Javante. I was trying to see if they were going to tell him to hit. Get the ball in my hand. I thought he did. He hesitated, and he stayed with Drew. I turned my back, spin move, and got to my spot.
Was it that much sweeter that it was Javante?
I guess so. I'm glad we made enough plays down the stretch to win. Give those guys credit. They played great tonight. Obviously Trey Murphy had a career night, so they made it tough on us, and they made us work.
What were the keys to the late game execution you guys coming through?
I wish we'd have made some more free throws, but we was playing hard on defense. A couple fouls that I don't really agree with, but just on the offensive end, we got to our spacing. I would catch on the elbow, look for KP on that rip screen. If he wasn't open, I would attack. They tried to steal the ball from me. I threw it to JB. He had to pull up right before that, so. We were just in the right space, and we just had a lot of different options that we could attack from.
All right, win is a win is a win. Celtics find a way. Everybody chips in. Special shout out. I thought Luke Cornett got robbed on the Tommy Award tonight. Kristaps was awesome, and when you get 7 stocks and do what Kristaps did, you probably you're going to get the Tommy Award. But Luke's efforts early in the fourth quarter. Him and Tatum got a little special chemistry going on right now. I think only Derek and Luke have a better net rating among two-man units, high usage two-man units on the Celtics. But I think Tatum and Luke are next in that line. I know for sure Luke has the most screen assists and screen points for the Celtics this season. Tatum has developed that chemistry with him where they're running pick and roll, and whether it's Tatum getting all the way to the rim or just dumping off for Luke dunks like he got tonight, that combo has been really good. And Luke's had some loud games in here. Though the Celtics haven't always taken full advantage, he deserves a lot of credit. And big picture wise, I'm sure we'll do another trade podcast in here in advance of Thursday's deadline. But the way Luke is playing is just a reminder that they're pretty well stocked at the big man spot. And as much as a lot of people have angst about that spot and what the Celtics should do, I'd much rather they seek another wing defender, someone who can run some guys off the three-point line when they can't miss, take some of the pressure off the Jays. But we'll save that for another day. In the more immediate future, Celtics visit the Philadelphia 76ers on Sunday afternoon. A little chance for revenge after losing at home on Christmas Day. The only 2-game losing streak of the Celtics this season. We joke all the time. They're 13-1 after a loss. They know how to dust themselves off and play better the next time out. But that Philly game was the one time where they didn't turn around and find it, and shorthanded Philly found a way to win that game. Maxey has been great. He had a big night tonight, even though they fall to the Denver Nuggets because Jokic, back to the clutch stuff, makes a game winner with 30-something seconds to go beyond the three-point arc. Gershon Yabusele, he popped up in the trade rumors, even though I'm not sure I expect the Sixers to move him. Or if they do, I don't know if a second-round pick is enough to muscle him away, considering the way he's playing. But you got to keep an eye on him. I thought, look, the evolution of the Dancing Bear has been pretty phenomenal to watch. He has been a absolutely dominant force in international play, Olympic play. He's given France a real weapon over there, and I was kind of wondering when his next opportunity would come. And so signs with the Sixers. I don't know if he knew Embiid would be out this much, that the team would struggle this much, but it was definitely a chance to reassert himself. And so 28 points against the Nuggets tonight. Dancing Bear's got it going on. Celtics got to account for him when he's in town, and would be nice. I've long dreamed of seeing Yabu back in green, but I don't know. We'll see if the Sixers are willing to part with him before the deadline, and what the ransom might be to win his services down the stretch of the season. And then, look, the Sixers, because they're going to probably lose their pick anyway, might just roll the dice and see where it lands, and hope that Embiid gets healthy, and hope that Maxey is good, and there'll be one heck of an interesting 8th seed or play-in team or wherever they end up in the standings. But that game Sunday should be interesting. Celtics got to find a way to lock up the defense, be a little bit better than they have been, and keep Maxey under control, regardless of who else is on the court for those Sixers. We'll be right back here with you on the Celtics Talk podcast. The postgame pod will be coming to you after that one. So go like, go subscribe, go watch all the Jason Tatum game winners, because there's a lot of tape out there now after what he's doing this season. We'll catch you on Sunday night on the postgame pod.